I will be discussing a few impactful events in the lives of my grandparents. Let's start with my grandmother, Shahara Huddleston. When she was only 12 years old, she had to have the first of many serious back surgeries. She was the oldest of 4 children at the time and later the oldest of 5. At first, her mother, Jolyn Winter, stayed with her in the hospital, but having 3 other young children to take care of, she had to leave my grandmother all by herself and take care of the other 3 kids so that her husband, Benny Winter, could return to work. Since she was the oldest child, she was expected to be okay and to be able to do anything that needed to be done. So she tried to be strong when her mother left, and then she recalled crying for a very long time. As my grandmother recalled, this was the first time that she had to act big. This surgery was only the beginning of 3 other back surgeries, which my grandma said she had to muster up resolve and courage to go through it. She said that each time her surgery made her stronger. My grandmother believes that her family has been instrumental in getting her through each of her surgeries. Now let's discuss my grandfather, Rusty Huddleston. When he was 23 years old, he married my grandmother, Shahara. This was in the 60s, in the prime of the hippie days, as my grandfather called it. As they gained an appreciation for a simpler way of life, my mom and my aunt came along, and through insightful experience of the hippie life, my grandparents wanted to raise their kids to appreciate the simple things as well. So they moved to a 2,000-acre ranch in Wyoming that had running water but no indoor plumbing. Instead, they had an outhouse about 50 feet from the house where you would have to trek through feet of snow in winter weather below zero in the dead of winter to reach it. My grandfather said to be sure to add that for some reason they could never figure out, there were 3 seats side by side inside the outhouse, but they never took advantage of that feature. My mom and my aunt learned how to live simply and to enjoy nature. There was a pond by their house where they both learned to ice skate when the pond froze over, and they had 2,000 whole acres to explore and play on when they went outside. My grandpa realized how different it was to raise his children in a rural area rather than a city. This shaped both of my grandparents by making them appreciate the simple things in life and by taking their minds off of the material things. Both of my grandparents have impacted my life immensely. My grandmother has always instructed me to be strong and assured me that I could do anything. She is such a strong woman and I really admire her. My grandfather has always made me appreciate the little things, just as he did with my mom and my aunt. When I was little, my grandpa would take my brother and I on trips to enjoy historical landmarks or nature, and he would tell us stories that he made up. They have both strengthened my appreciation for family and made me aware of the power that a great support system can have. Lastly, I have been impacted by my grandparents through strong support in my decision to attend ACU and to major in education. And an encouraging note to leave you with from my grandpa is that life isn't about making money, it's about making life.